Welcome to the Minnesota American Legion Patriots podcast. I'm Mike Perry, your host, who sometimes forgets to turn up the volume. So that's what we're going to do this time. Oh boy, what a day it's been already. We have a couple of guests with us, and I'm just going to switch the camera now because they're much nicer to look at than me, and they have a beautiful backdrop here. And for this podcast, we're going back a year. A year ago, approximately, Ray Kane became the American Legion Department's service officer.
Yes.
And in that time period, you have gotten a cohort in crime.
Yes.
So introduce your cohort in crime.
So about January, we started recruiting Janet Lorenzo, my assistant department service officer. And let me tell you, she's a great asset to our team. Best thing that's ever happened in the Legion and department service officer area.
All right. Sounds
Thank you.
good. Yeah.
This is awesome.
Let's refresh. Let's tell our viewers, listeners, what in the world does a service officer do?
Oh wow, that's the ultimate question we've gotten. We do a lot. Our thing is we have a memorandum of understanding with Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs, and they're our claims office, and they're doing great on their claims. But we really encourage them to go to the county veteran service officers and use American Legion as a POA. But we work with all the homes, all the hospitals, and making sure they're upholding the obligation to veterans and seeing what they need from the Legion. We work with the VA at the VA hospital. So we have veterans coming in our office all the time to making sure that we're navigating the system. So our biggest thing is we do a lot of navigation, a lot of referrals to different programs, and we assist veterans in need. So we find a lot of resources for veterans in our well, actually across the state of Minnesota. I want to say our community, but our community actually incorporates the state of Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you say you help veterans, and what kind of help, Janet? I mean,
You know, that is a great question, and it really depends on the veteran and where they are at in life. We have veterans walking into the office that need assistance with food. So we'll do a referral, depending on where they live. A common group is 360 Communities or Basic Needs in St. Paul Park. We also have veterans needing assistance with their medical bills. Well, if they've been a member of the American Legion for 3+ years, they can utilize the hospitalization fund. So we'll fill out the application. We will review all of the medical bills that need to be paid. Now, keep in mind, it does have to be medical bills from the same company. So let's say you're going to Mayo Clinic for treatment. All the bills need to be from Mayo Clinic.
okay.
It's very difficult to have a cross between Mayo Clinic, Alina Health Partners, Blue Cross Blue Shield, all wonderful companies. But if you're receiving care from one specific area, we would like the bills from that area. It's up to $4,000.
Wow.
We also have veterans who are needing, for their children, they're needing cold weather gear. So we'll put in a referral, again, to Basic Needs. This veteran is going to come in with his 2 kids. They need snow gear head to toe. They will assist them with mittens, hats, jackets, boots, everything that you need to go to school and be warm and be safe. So it really depends on what the veteran needs. We don't turn any veterans away. We do our best to assist them in all areas. Now keep in mind, we do heavily require the post-service officer to be involved because Ray and I, there's only so much that we can do.
Right.
But when a veteran's coming in asking for assistance, the post-service officer has an opportunity to meet that veteran, know who is in your community. And then I can also give them a place to come share a meal with other veterans at the post. Come to one of our meetings. See if it's something that you would be interested in. We have so many programs for the children. They can be involved too. So when you think about the American Legion and what your department service officer and your assistant department service officer do, we have a wide umbrella.
And the best part about that is we have a program called Unite Us, and the Unite Us program gives us a tool to expand and do the referral. So what we can do now with Unite Us is it's huge. And like she said, all we got to do is put the veteran in that program. We can monitor what's going on. Basic Needs has been a savior for us in St. Paul Park because we have food shelves, have a food requirement, have an income requirement. Basic Needs can get the veterans that are in crisis right now. They're
Right.
struggling with either a hospital bill or something. They go in, they grab a cart, and they pick out some food. They weigh it, type in their zip code, and they're out the door. There's no food requirements, and there's a lot of food markets, food recovery programs that are out there.
Right.
So there's a lot of post-service officers that are really interested in knowing what's going on in their community. So we're really reaching out to the post-service officers, and I think we talk about the commanders and all the first vice, but I think the post-service officers are a very critical piece now in the post. A lot of posts say, "Oh, we don't have post-service. We need to recruit them. We need to get them on there and know what's going on in their communities because that's the key factor. We cover the whole state, but I'm not sure exactly everything that goes on in Bemidji or down in Laverne. So having them know the resources in their community is a big factor there.
Sure.
And I want to also add, to be a post-service officer, you don't need prior training. You just need the passion to help a veteran. Ray and I are here to assist, and we will point you in the right direction. But again, this is your community. And in our communities, Ray and I have taken a Sunday drive to go look at any other organizations that are coming up to see what they assist with. We don't want to burn out our go-to programs like Basic Needs every third Saturday, MACV. We don't want to burn them out. We want to utilize the other resources in the community. If someone can help, let's say for example, if Basic Needs can help with the cold weather gear, and then every third Saturday can help with grocery needs. That's utilizing two programs in your area instead of going to just one organization and getting everything from there. You want to spread it out so that the funds can continue growing and continue helping as many people as possible.
Yeah, so when I first got here, we talked about Minnesota Veterans Assistance Fund, and we're kind of just starting on it.
Sure.
And, we started using Unite Us. That was a platform that was already here. But we've taken that to the next level. We're encouraging other nonprofits to get on Unite Us so we can do referrals. But not only can we do the referrals, the other nonprofits can do the referrals too.
Oh,
so
okay.
if Basic Needs is there and they find a veteran that's in their facility because they're in crisis, getting, like you said, clothing or something like that, they can actually refer them to us to where we can maybe work with them to get their benefits increased. And so having the American Legion as your power of attorney gives us the ability to work with them and work with their benefits claims and work with Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs to maybe look at whether we can get an increase or not. But that gives an opportunity for us to actually touch that veteran and work with them. So Unite Us program is a key factor here, and we are working with our Tiffany from National, and we're going to start piloting the program with 5 different states right now because it's such a great program to utilize.
Wow.
And like I said, we went from here's the thing we can monitor to now we're just expanding it. So now the veteran just doesn't go this avenue and down this avenue. It's like a circle, and everybody's encompassing that veteran.
So it actually makes it easier for the veteran because that veteran doesn't have to go here, here, here,
Yes.
here. It's like a one-stop shop.
Yes.
And we can monitor that veteran. We can say, okay, we gave him to this organization. They took that, right? And we can see the progress and what's going on. So is the veteran being helped?
Excuse me.
Oh, the veteran doesn't qualify for this. Then we can take back at him, call him, say, okay, you might not qualify for this program, but let's work on this program. So you don't qualify because you're in crisis, but your income's too high for the food shelf. So then we can refer them to Basic Needs, which is the food recovery program. So we really encompass that program to making sure that we monitor them. And the biggest thing is, before we started, we had people coming back consistently with us. Well, now we don't have those veterans coming back because Janet's
That
moving
was a
them forward.
question I was
Yeah.
going to get to next is what kind of repeat? Is there a percentage that you found yet?
We are at 0.9 for return, and I believe the reason why our return compared to other organizations is so low is because we do a follow-up with the veteran. Our goal is not to put a Band-Aid on the situation. Our goal is to end it.
Right.
What else do you need help with? You may not need help with it today, but we're going to look at the next 2 months based on your income. You need a bigger shovel. everything has gotten so much more expensive. That's
Right.
not your fault. What else can we do to assist you? It's been 10 years since you've had your claim reviewed. Do you feel that your symptoms have gotten worse? Well, yeah, I haven't really thought about it. Okay, let's get you into MDVA so they can review your claim and go and do those C&P exams and let that whole process work out. Within 2-3 months, that veteran now has an additional 20% coming in for their service connection disability. That's a big deal. That's a good chunk of money.
Right.
So when you're adding to your income based on your service connection worsening, now you understand you didn't have to sit in silence and continue being in pain. You
Right.
reached out to your service officers and we were able to assist. We don't know what we don't know, so we're going to ask a bunch of qualifying information, and you may have to spend a good hour with us. And this is why the post-service officers are so important. Because when you think about veterans coming in to the VA hospital asking Ray and I for assistance, Ray's on one side of the room helping a veteran, and I'm out in the hallway helping another veteran.
Right.
We
Yeah.
become very, very, very busy. We will never turn a veteran away. We will reach out to the post-service officer and say, this is a veteran that came into our office. This is the needs that they need help with. Can you assist them? We haven't had a post-service officer push back and say, I don't know how to do that. They always come back and say, I will try and see what we can do at the post level.
Sure.
And a lot of people say, Ray and Janet, you're doing a great job, and we appreciate that, and thank you. But I don't think it's just, people have to know it's not just us. It's the post, and we appreciate the post, but it's also the community. Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, and I'm not just saying because I'm a president for Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, because there's so many different groups out there, but we've partnered with Stephanie. She's at the Yellow Ribbon coordinator for the state of Minnesota. She's reached out. We've reached out to her. She gets things done for us. It's working with MACV. It's working with Project Got Your Back. It's working with the community food shelves, and it's the volunteers that work at the food shelf that are helping us. So we're really pulling in the community, and the communities are assisting the veterans. It's not just us. We're just the navigators right now, and bringing those communities together to help that veteran.
Sure.
So we got to really give the kudos to the communities that are out there,
Right.
and the vet-friendly people that I just want to help veteran.
Sure.
We got people calling us, I want to help a veteran for Christmas. I'm sure we're going to get that call, and the encouragement, the auxiliary members,
We actually
the
already
Sons
did
of
get the
Legions,
call.
yep. The riders going on the rides, taking care of us and actually raising the money for Fund 85. It's the junior auxiliaries that are cooking the brownies and selling brownies to get us money for Fund 85.
So
Opportunity.
that's my next question. Where does the money come from? Obviously, there has to be a pot somewhere, and how does one contribute to that pot?
And that's a good question, because we do not get any funds from outside the Minnesota. So we're not, nothing from the state, no grants. Fund 85 is all stuff from the post-gambling donations that are huge for us. And I won't get into that because that's
Right.
going to hurt my feeling, because that's going to hurt us big time coming up in the future. But it's the junior auxiliary girls that are cooking the brownies that are donating that money that they earn for the bake sale. It's the riders doing the riders and doing the runs that are giving us donations.
Which was a big announcement today
Huge.
at Fall
I was-
Conference. Absolutely
Yes.
huge.
That
Explain it.
Um,
You had to have
Oh.
You had to have goosebumps. Yeah.
So, having that ride change to the Fund 85 run, it's big because we're struggling. We look at it and we do different resources, but if we would have taken care of, if there wasn't for basic needs right now, that's $385,000 that we would have had to spend on food recovery. Right there, our fund would have been gone. And then we wouldn't be able to say, we can help you or we can assist you. And that's a big deal. And having the riders have that run, I mean, I can't tell you how. I mean, yeah, goosebumps. I'm like, I still got, I'm getting goosebumps right now, because that's so important for us, because we do everything we can to help the veteran before we use that fund.
Right.
And now having, John Weiss, the SAL commander, having that as his project, having the commander have the Fund 85 as their project, it's a big thing for us.
Yeah.
Because we just want to assist veterans and take care of them. But as Kelly talked about, our chaplain, it's a suicide prevention. We get these veterans in our office. The veterans are, we get them in the office, their wives are dragging them to the VA because they're hurting, they're sick, they don't want to go to the VA because, they don't want to go to doctors, period. It doesn't have to be the VA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they're in crisis after that.
Right.
We had 3 individuals that come to the VA that had cancer. By the time they got to the VA and actually figured it out, that day they went to the VA, they found out they had stage 4 cancer. So how long are they going to live?
Right.
One gentleman, we paid a couple rents or mortgages and secured housing for the wives, and unfortunately we gave them the opportunity to be with their husbands when they passed. One didn't even last 2 weeks, and that was
Right.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That's what Fund 85 does.
Wow. Final comments from you two.
Thank you to the foundation department for helping raise the money for Fund 85. Thank you to our post-service officers who are really doing the work in their community. Thank you to everybody who lives, breathes veterans. Our veterans, they served our country honorably.
Mm-hmm.
They're the reasons why we continue to be free. The need is only growing. It's getting worse. So know what's in your community now and see what you can do to prepare for what's coming in the next several months. It's our responsibility to continue serving our country within our own community.
But Janet's right. I would just say, ditto on that. But what's coming up is going to be what we're planning for. There's going to be a need out for our National Guard units, and armories are going to be out there. And for the post-service officers, look out on the website. Pay attention to the department website because we're going to have training at the department to get not only Fund 85, but Unite Us. Because once we get more people on Unite Us, that's going to be huge because every time we get somebody down south or up north, then our community grows even more and more because then they have the key factor in saying, hey, this group is doing really well. Let's pull them in to make sure we can use them as a resource. But we really appreciate everything that Paul Hassing's doing, John Weiss is doing, the riders are doing. That's the key factor. We are navigating it, but they're doing the hard work.
All right. Ray, Janet, thanks for being with us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Minnesota American Legion Patriots podcast. I'm Mike Perry, and until we meet again, be the one.